Okay, so if you've been following me on Instagram, or if you saw some of my earlier videos, and probably my most popular one is a smart bib. That's a bib that looks like a shirt and tie, a jacket and tie. So yeah, I've been making bibs, baby bibs, for a number of years now, and this is my go-to template for pretty much all the kind of basic bibs. I've started doing some that are have a PVC side and a fabric side, so that they are wipe clean. But I don't particularly like using PVC for bibs because when I finish them I have to top stitch them, and I can't do a top stitch on PVC. Neither of my sewing machines will actually accept it, and it will just make a mess. So they have to be hand top stitched. So it does make it a bit more of an involved process. So yeah, this is my basic bib template, which is about 12 inches tall by 9 wide, with an opening for the neck which is about the size of a CD. So that's kind of where I basically started from, and then I've kind of adapted and slightly varied it until I got to this. So that is a very basic bib template. You can go crazy, you can do tails, you can put kind of a belt around it so it can be tied down, but this is a very basic bib. That being said, I've been thinking about doing something a little more involved, and that it does involve the PVC as well. So what I used to have as a baby, and what my best friend has as a baby, is a catch bib, which is a plastic bib that's got kind of a bucket thing on the bottom, so that when the baby's feeding themselves, the food ends up in the bucket rather than all over the place. And I had a thought that maybe I could do something that would do the same thing, but with PVC and fabric. So I took my original bib and basically built kind of a skirt on it with a slight kind of angle outwards, so that when it comes in it creates kind of a bowl shape here. So this is my prototype for a catch bib, and what I'm going to do is use some press studs as kind of anchoring points for the catch, for the bowl essentially. So this is the first of the PVC lap bibs that I finished. You can see I have top stitched very roughly with some embroidery floss, because I mentioned before that there's no way I'm going to get this through my sewing machine because it will just, the PVC will catch on the presser foot and it won't go anywhere essentially. There are ways to get around that, but I'm only making a couple, so it didn't make sense to really do that. As it is, I'm not so keen on the roughness of the stitching here, but I actually think it works. It's kind of got a bold statement that kind of goes with the pattern on the back, and using a slightly transparent or see-through front also means that the pattern pops out a bit more on the front here. So now I'm going to work on the press studs. So obviously as this is a bib, it's going to have 4 studs at the top, so I can actually have 2 levels of, or 3 levels of tightness of sizes, as I normally do with my bibs anyway. And then I'm going to put the 2 studs at the bottom here. So, actually I probably should, it will be better on the prototype. So, a stud at the bottom corner here, and a stud at the point at which it flares out. So that's the plan. So I'm using my plastic studs, one, because they are so much easier than the metal ones, even though I've still got a fair number of the metal ones here to use, but not right now. So I'm going to have to use my template as a marking template for these. So I'm using the little pokey awl type thing in the centre of my marks here. So the top stud is at the point where the edge flares out. I think that's going to work the best. So it's that. And these bottom ones are pretty much into the corners, like that. So that's as far as I can go at this stage. I'm going to get the studs in, but for the purposes of this video, I'm actually going away to my best friend's place to hang about with her and her children and test this out. So I'm going on Wednesday, and this is supposed to be out on Wednesday. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. So I'll put up this video as is at this stage on Wednesday, and then hopefully by the weekend I will be able to update it with whatever developments and ideas that have come out of actually using it. So this is as far as I'm going to get. I'll show you some pictures of this and the measurements for the template, and if you're just watching this on Wednesday, then that's all you're going to get. But if you're watching it probably Saturday, Sunday time, you might actually get some fuller detail. So yeah, that's as far as I can go for now. So depending on when you're watching this, I might be back, or I might just see you next week.